If I were to clone you, in a very, very literal sense, we're not talking about scientific cloning that is possible. If I were to make an exact copy of you, and it were to include all your thoughts, all your memories, and it would look exactly like you, put it next to you, what do you think would happen? It's just a little tangent that I'm going on. I'm trying to see what do you think would happen to these two people? Their experiences have been exactly identical. Um, their looks are exactly identical. They, all of a sudden, there's a carbon copy of you right next to you. What do you think would happen with you and this carbon copy?
Carbon. Well, we're going to have,
Well,
a pretty much identical experience of shock, but one of us will be seeing it slightly to the right, nearer to a light. You can't see this, but I'm pointing to a light next to me to my right,
yeah,
and
I gather what you're trying to say.
one of us, me too, will experience it from the left, nearer to a printer. So we'll have a very
Okay, and
identical
let,
shock.
let me refresh my idea. If I were to, no, it doesn't matter. Carry on,
Basically,
carry
we
on.
we would be extremely similar, but changes would start to accrue, instantly from the cloning procedure, because even very slight differences of being in a different place um, can have profound changes, as evidenced by the fact that identical twins who have nearly identical genetic makeup can also vary very differently.
Yeah, they do. But the difference would be that up to that point, you'd be exactly identical in terms of experience. Yeah, you'd find divergence. You would find divergence. And it's an explainable divergence. I don't know. I just don't like the idea.
Okay, that's understandable, but I didn't like the
I'm not
idea
sure I
either.
can combat that.
No. Um, so going back to the judicial process,
Yeah.
I think we can punish people and make them ashamed of who they are in an effort to change them. Obviously, I don't believe that it's the right
Well,
thing to do
then,
and they
then if
deserve
they
it.
go and commit another crime, then you're going to punish them again in
No.
an effort to change them, and all you're really doing is pushing them further down that road because what the punishment is actually then in that instance being part of the cause for this person to then act in that in a criminal manner again.
Yeah, at that
It's
point,
it's not
obvious.
particularly productive.
Yes, in that case, you punishment as a deterrent mechanism can go so
Well,
far, and when it fails, it's good. It's very good with children. It's poor with criminals who recommit offences. And yes, at that point, I would understand that this is actually adding to the problem. This is part of the reason that they're acting the way they are, and I would uh, suggest undertaking therapy with them to get to the root of what begun this and show them the love and the respect that they probably never got.
well, there's some people that you're never going to reach through therapy, no matter what you do. That's just one of those things.
Yes, so then you'd keep them incarcerated for other
Therapy's
people's
therapy
safety.
is just no guarantee.
No, but it's worth a shot. And again, it's better that than to, I don't know, think that somehow the criminals deserve to be punished because they had the free choice to do otherwise and they made the free choice to commit the crime. It's better to have a shot at trying to understand them and trying to change them.
It is very, very interesting. It's a very difficult theory to actually combat. Do you have any proof for it? I suppose that's the question. I don't think it's something that you can have proof for.
I believe that some neuroscience experiments have been done where the patient has been asked to make a choice, and before making the choice, and consciously making the choice, some activity has gone off in the brain. This was only for a very simple experiment of, I think it was looking in a right or left direction, but there was some sort of precursor activity in the brain prior to them consciously making that decision to do what they were going to do, indicating that in fact there is something firing off before we have that feeling of making a choice. That would be the closest thing to proof.
Yeah. Actually, I think I'm going to give it to you. I don't see that it's something I can really combat.
Thank you.
It goes against my grain. It goes against everything that I seem to think is logical, but I suppose it is plausible. I'm just trying to think how one could possibly contest something like this. Another question. There's a psychologist, I believe his name is Pavlov. What he used to do was, I think he was a big fan of something that's no longer really used to any great degrees, behavioral psychology, where he would take dogs and he would place a bowl of food in front of the dog, but prior to the dog being fed, there was an action he undertook. I believe I believe he shocked the dogs, but don't quote me on that. I'm not entirely sure. I believe he shocked the dogs, and after the shock, he used to feed the dog. And what happened is, as soon as the dog got shocked, or as soon as the dog was subjected to that said stimuli, the dog immediately began salivating because it followed in its mind that food was coming, basically. That's what behavioral psychology is. It's existential elements impacting how the mind works. And I don't really suppose... I suppose that even... What do you think about that?
That pretty much just affirms it. And, we're
it
running
does.
off the same, albeit more complex mechanisms than dogs, but we have the same conditioning. We'll make the same associations with certain things.
Well,
I thought you were going to challenge me
there. To
there.
some degree, but I'm trying to think of ways to challenge you, but you've made a compelling argument, and I don't really want to challenge what I see is correct, unless I can see that it's wrong, and I can't see that it's wrong. I'm giving it to you. You're right on this.
Thank you so much.
What's next on your agenda?
I don't know. Brag. Upload the video.
Oh, yeah, great. It's going to be happy days.
Well, okay, it's